Well, good morning. We are hiking through the desert. We came out here to do an off-road recovery kind of near here. And I was going to film it, but as soon as I pull out the camera, dude absolutely flipped out on me. So I'm assuming it's like America's Most Wanted or something, but whatever. Couldn't film it. Since we're in this area, there's something out here I've seen before. We're too far away. Figured I'd show you guys. So let's go check it out. Okay, we're here. Do you see it? You're staring right at it. We are right in the middle of a village. There's one house right there. There's another one here. There's another one in that tree over there. There's another one right here. One more right there. Where is the other one? Another one right there. And of course I got a phone call because I always get phone calls. Well, now that phone call's out of the way, let's check this out. Here's one of the houses. So you see it's a circle of juniper branches and trees made up between a natural little grove of trees. And here's the entrance. If you go inside, you got a whole circle of walls built all around. And the reason they do that, as you see, when we walked inside, probably noticed all of a sudden the wind stopped. Well, I don't know how much wind you can hear because this microphone's supposed to cut it out really good, but so we're just walking around right here. It's actually pretty windy out here right now, and as soon as you sit down in this house, all the wind stops. That's why they build this circle around here. And if you can imagine 100 years ago or so, or whenever this was built, this was probably much taller, bushier, and not broken down and deteriorated so bad like it is now. I think there's 6 or 7 of these in this little group right here. And take this with a grain of salt. I don't verify or guarantee any of this information because I could be way wrong. But there's nothing officially written up about this place that I can find. There's no signs, there's no anything. We're just in the middle of the desert. And from the research I've done, and some of the older people in the area I've talked to, this is an old Native American village. And they were very well known, I guess, in this area for building this type of structure for their villages. And in this village, the different structures that are placed all over would be the different families in the village. They each had their own, like basically their house. So there's quite a few of them around here. And in the middle out here, if we head on out, see I stood up and you could probably hear the wind already. Right outside here in the more central areas, there's a massive fire pit here. There's an even bigger one right there. And see, there's another one of the houses. There's another one in that tree right there. Another one right there. All around us. So these fire pits are kind of central to the houses around the edge of this village. And this one over here is pretty cool. Let me show you this one. So this one here is the only one out of all the ones in this group that's actually built with 2 rooms. So you come in here into what's like the main area, and then it's got this divider in it. And when you walk around the side, you've got another room over here, almost like the living room and the bedroom, or the parents' room and the kids' room, or not sure exactly how they did all that, but this is all very, very deteriorated wood that has been here for a very long time. This is nothing built in any recent time. So I said this was probably much bigger and more secure way back when. Look at that tree with that big old spiral in it. That's pretty cool. But as cool as these little village houses are, that's not the coolest or most interesting thing about this place. Let's go over here and I'll show you the most interesting thing about this place. Check out this rock wall. Interesting, huh? Check out over here, some more rocks. And look at this, is a big old slab of rock. Very well wedged into the tree. Here, behind us, another one. Over there, another one. There's another one back there. There's a couple more off that way there. So keep in mind the village is all over here, and all these rock walls are on this one side of it facing that way. So let's go look at what's over there. So if we come over here, we have a bunker built right on the edge of this little bluff that overlooks this big draw that heads out through here. If you think this bunker's cool, you'll notice there's another one right there, and another one there, another one there, another one there, all the way up and down this rim overlooking this draw are these stone bunkers. And if you were to look at this area of the desert from a Google Maps view, which I won't show you because one, more toe calls. No. Because one, I don't know how to put the maps in here. And two, I don't really want to tell anyone where this is because it's just a very cool thing in the middle of the desert that is probably still here and not destroyed because nobody knows about it or knows where it is. We're not in a closed off area or anything at all. We're in open BLM land. There's roads not far from here, but unless you just get off and start walking, you aren't going to see it. But keep in mind this draw, and we're going to go over here. So we're farther down the rim here. See, the draw goes here, through here, and it's big, huge draw over here. And it is a pretty big, wide open, flat bottom draw that winds all the way off about 10-15 miles to a town that's over there. I'm not going to say which one, but one of the original railroads running through the area was over there, and that's where an early settlement was. And if you look at this from Google Maps above, this flat bottom draw winds all those 10-15 miles all the way out to that town. There's mountains, I'm not going to say which ones, off in that direction. So any early settlers that were dropped off by the railroad way out there thinking they're going to go check out the mountains for any resources or hunting or whatever, this draw would have been a very natural way for them to travel to get up there. But remember that Native American village is right there. So this right here is a little point that goes out, kind of out into the middle of this draw, but up 20-30 feet elevation above it. And here is a huge bunker on top of it. Let's see if we can get in here. So every which way, like look at this. Perfect little firing position right here. So you totally sit down in here, and if you wanted to ambush an off-road recovery Jeep, this would be a great spot to do it from. But it continues on out here. See, it's this big old huge wall built up, and look at the size of these rocks. These are not small rocks. But this is where the draw would come from the direction of town. And here's another one, and there's another one, and there's a Jeep, and there's another one, and there's another one right there. And there's an old burned up van someone dumped off in the desert, which is not cool. If I had my tow truck, I'd drag that thing out of here, but I don't. So anyone that would have been traveling up this draw has to go right through here, and up back in there is that Native American village, and around this whole rim is bunkers set up for ambush. Now you think, yeah, they could just run away, back off that way for sure, or back out the way they came. But no, you can't, and I'll show you why. Oh, that's creepy. Got a bone right here. So we're gonna hike across this draw here, and you see it's just a nice, flat, wide open bottom here. I mean, perfect for travel with wagon trains or horses or whatever. This would be the very natural way they would pick to go. But say you're coming up this draw, you'd be coming from that direction right there. I mean, look around. Other than a Jeep, just rocks and all that out here, right? Nope. This rock wall here is a whole network of ambush bunkers. Let's go on top and look. So here's two right here facing the direction people would originally be coming from. And then up here on this wall, there's more overlooking all that. Little trails that go through to get back into more. Go off over this way. These trails come through here, go down into pretty cool one right down in there, and it continues on and on over there along this whole rim. So if you're thinking this is it, we go up here even higher, and there's another one up here. Look at this. Look at the size of these slabs of rock that they've stacked here. It's crazy. And again, it's looking over all of this. And down here, there's even more. I'm in a heat stroke out here. Here's another one. So this is where it gets really interesting, and I hope what we think this place is correct, because if so, it makes it a very cool place they built. So like I said, big old draw coming up, big wide open there. That's where the Jeep was parked over there we walked across. And on the other side is where it starts going uphill. So any wagon trains or mule trains like that, it's going to get slowed down going up that sandy hill. And that's a big old wide open there. So it'd be a natural kind of resting point before you started up the hill. But that's the point on the other side we were on. This is the point where all these big bunkers are right here. Wide open, and a very narrow pinch point they would have to go through. So once anyone got into this big area here and got slowed down to go up the hill, they are completely surrounded by hidden bunkers in the rim all the way around them. Perfect spot for an ambush. So this is heading off out in the other direction. That draw is down over in there, bunkers on the other side, village beyond that. So we're way back over here, and there's more. These ones look much older and farther deteriorated, so I don't know if they abandoned this area and moved over there, or what the deal was, but there's quite a few of them out here. But look at this. You can't tell me this is anything even remotely recent. This has got to be 100 years old at least, like early settler days. Another one here. So one more thing I wanted to show you before we head out of here and actually go back to work is this one here. Someone cut the top off that old burned up van that's over there and put it on top of this bunker. And this looks like the seat out of the van. And there's a shelf in there and a bunch of the desert rat poop. But this was originally a bunker, or this might have been built up later. This one actually looks like sloppier construction than all the rest of these ones that are all around us. They're actually built very, very well and super tight fit of rocks and very, very stable looking, where this one actually, the more I look at it, it does not look to be built anywhere near the quality of the other. So this might have been, whoever did all that made this one. Or maybe it was a partial bunker at first and they just added onto it to do this. I don't know. But head back down into the draw and head out of here. See, we're not very far away from where people travel. This is not a heavily used trail, but a trail, and people drive right through here and probably have absolutely no idea they're surrounded by an ambush site and some old Native American villages that are just completely at random out here. See, some people have come out here and gone shooting and didn't clean up their shit because they're assholes. Maybe we'll come back and clean that up sometime, but we do have to get back to work. Very, very son of a bitch. And so that was all really cool and everything, but when I kneeled down in that last bunker there, that newer looking one, I guess I kneeled down on a fire ant mound and they were in my pants and they started biting me as I was walking back over right here. So sorry for throwing you into the desert, but I had ants in my pants. So we are on the trail headed out of here, and that unassuming looking rock wall is that big bunker system on that side. The rock wall's over there, the bunker system on the other side. You see here we head uphill, which would slow down a wagon, or maybe you'd take a break before heading up out of there. Over here some, yeah, that's right, power windows. Some very old wood. Almost looks like part of a staircase, a porch. I don't know what that's from. There's definitely a lot more exploring to do out here. Okay, we are headed back out of here to go back to work. I had to go home, drop off the Jeep, grab the tow truck, and then go do some towing. But this place is very, very interesting, and I do want to know a lot more about it. Like, the one thing I haven't found around here is water. So you'd think if there was a village, there'd be water nearby, or did they set up in that perfect ambush spot and that was a well-known cargo travel route and they used the travelers and the cargo trains to get their supplies? I don't know. It's very interesting how that village is set up right around that perfect spot and it's all set up for ambush. So is that set up to protect the village, or is that set up to attack the cargo trains to get the supplies? So if any of you know where this is and know anything more about it, like I said, I could be 100% wrong in everything I'm saying. That's actually more likely than the fact that I'm right is that I'm wrong. But if any of you know more about this place, for one, do not say where it is, because I think it's really cool that after all this time, it's still sitting there just like it is, basically undisturbed. And two, I tried to say and two and then hit the button that turns the gimbal around to face me, but I hit the stop recording button instead. Like I said, I don't know how to use this thing. But two, what was I saying? Oh yeah, if you know more about this place and know what's really going on here, and I'm wrong, comment down below and tell me what it is without saying where it is or what towns we're even near. But yeah, it'd be really cool to know more about this place. I love this sort of old history and the early settler days type of stuff, and this area is full of it. So yes, if you know anything else, comment below and let me know. I'd really love to know more about it. Okay, as I was talking to the camera and headed out of here, I realized I was paying too much attention to the camera took a wrong turn. So I turned around and now I'm heading back and then looking for the right turn, which quite literally should be a right turn. But if you guys like this kind of stuff, this exploring stuff, like I said, this was supposed to be an off-road recovery video, but that went way bad and that guy got very, very mad at me. But if you like this exploring type of stuff and want to see some more of this, comment down below and let me know. There is a ton of this out in nature and historical type of exploring to do around here, and I do it all the time just for fun, even aside from work. So I could totally start filming some more of it and sharing it with you guys. So let me know if you'd like to see that stuff, and we can do more of that. But for now, that's it for this one, and we will see you later.